Hello and welcome to this next video tutorial on using ChatGPT. In this course, we're going to talk about how you can use it for writing emails. Now, I don't know about you, but sometimes I suffer from email paralysis. This is where you just overthink the language and the tone that you're using when you're going to send an email. This happens more often when the stakes are higher, like if it's a really important email that you have to send, or if the topic that you are talking about in the email is a little contentious, right? So maybe it's a salary negotiation, or maybe you have to email your boss letting them know that you're going to be sick. Sometimes this can create a lot of stress for us, and so ChatGPT can be used to kind of do some of the heavy lifting and give us something to work with. So in this first example, we're going to cover the topic of salary negotiation. So let's say you've asked your boss for a 10% wage increase, which sounds reasonable, right? Inflation has been very high. So this is probably something that's happening across the workforce right now. Let's say you asked your boss for an increase yesterday, and then you wake up the next day, and inside of your inbox you get this email. The email says, "Hi Paul, given your outstanding performance and commitment to the team, and after reviewing your profile further, we'd like to offer you a 5% raise starting next quarter. Your 10% suggestion is not currently in our budget. We hope you are as excited as we are to keep you in the company. Please let us know if you'd like to move forward." All right, so this can be kind of frustrating to get, right? Because they kind of lowballed you. You asked for 10% and they gave you 5. And the raise wouldn't even be starting immediately. It would be starting next quarter. So, how do you push back? How do you even start negotiating something like this? You could just reply on your own and say, "No, I want, 9% at least." Or you can just ask ChatGPT to write a reply to this email in a friendly manner, thanking them for the 5% wage increase offer, but insist on settling for a 7% increase. And you know what? Let's bump that up to 9% because, ChatGPT is writing this. So they're the ones doing the work. Let's see what they get, or let's see what they give us. "Hi, Stephen. Thank you for the wage increase offer of 5%. I am very excited to stay with the team and the company. I understand that the 10% increase I suggested is not in the budget. With that in mind, I would like to settle for a 9% increase as I believe it is only fair given my performance and commitment to my team. Please let me know if this change is something you'd be willing to accommodate." It's decent. It does the job of creating the template that we need. If there's anything we want to change, we can change a word, we can change a line, but this is something to at least get the ball rolling, right? But we can also erase that and hit submit again and see if ChatGPT gives us different results. Now let's say we want to insist on the wage increase. Insist on the wage increase beginning next week, right? We don't want to wait next quarter. That could be months away. And let's see what we get. "Thank you for the generous offer of a 5% wage raise beginning next quarter. I truly appreciate your consideration and am elated at the prospect of remaining part of your team." So this is pretty good. There's some flattery in here. That said, I would still like to respectfully, see, that's a good line, respectfully make the request that I receive a 9% wage increase beginning next week. With my hard work and dedication to the team, I would love to get the recognition I deserve and begin receiving the benefits as soon as possible. So it's a little more straightforward. It packs a bigger punch. It's a little more stern, but it's good, right? It gives us something solid to work with. And we can keep changing the prompt as needed and submitting multiple times. Okay, let's move on to a different topic where let's say we're sick and we can't make today's sales call. And it was a big one, a big client, and maybe they were counting on you to show up. But we feel awful and we cannot make this meeting. So we'll prompt ChatGPT to write a reply to this email that I am sick and can't do today's sales call. Ask to reschedule and apologize. Okay, let's see what we get. Dear name, thank you for the invitation to join you on the sales call today. Unfortunately, I'm not feeling well. So this is kind of short and sweet, but again, we didn't give ChatGPT anything really to work with. It doesn't understand the context or the gravity of what we are feeling. So let's change some of the context. The call was very important, and I was expected to present part of it. As to let's not. Well, we're not going to reschedule because this is a big call. Apologize. Let's say apologize, and ask to meet with the potential client separately. So we've given it more context, and ChatGPT has given us something more. So right off the bat, it says, "I apologize for the inconvenience, but unfortunately, I am not feeling well and will be unable to make today's sales call. I'm very sorry for any disruption this may cause. I'm very eager to meet with you and discuss how our service could benefit your business, and I would still be more happy to do this in a separate meeting. Please let me know when it would be convenient for you, and I'll make sure to be there. Once again, I apologize." So it's pretty good, right? It's not bad. If this is something that works for you and this feels like something you would write, the voice and tone is proper for the client you're dealing with or the company you work for, then that's good. If you want it to sound more friendly, more casual, definitely add those voice and tone directions as well. Now, what's another nerve-wracking email that you might avoid sending or that you're tired of sending, right? Let's say your client is just not paying you and you keep sending them invoice after invoice and they're not responding. So we'll ask ChatGPT to write an email to kindly remind my client Pigeon of payment for the Q4 marketing services I provided. Let's hit submit. So right away it gives us a subject line. "Dear Pigeon team, I hope this finds you well. I'm writing to kindly remind you of the payment due for the Q4 marketing services I provided to your company. Our initial agreement outlined payment to be received no later than," okay, it just threw a random date in there for us. And that's fine. We can change that, right? However, I have not yet received payment. I hope you can arrange payment soon. So it creates some context, right? It mentions closing out a project. Like, it doesn't really know if those are the true details, but it does it for us, right? And now let's say we want to sternly write an email to sternly. We'll change the friendly to sternly. Remind my client. Let's say they've just been such a hassle and we're kind of over it. Let's see. "The services I provide to your company is due. I've noticed that the payment for these services is long overdue, which is quite concerning." Okay, see, that packs more of a punch. "I trust that you'll prioritize this payment. As a reminder, the invoice amount is $10,000. See, ChatGPT again. It's pulling stuff. But this is a good placeholder, right? Let's say the amount was $20,000 or $2,000. We can just erase this and throw that in there. And it gave us another fake date. Let's say we're going to pull out the big guns and we want the email to threaten legal action. ChatGPT sort of already knows that we're asking for an email, so this prompt under this one will just notify it to rewrite the email in a different way while threatening legal action. So it mentions, despite multiple requests and notices of payment received. So right here, the more likely it is that legal action may be taken against your company. This is good. Now, what's our next prompt? Write an email kindly requesting a 30-minute video interview with Joe Pigeon, founder and CEO of Pigeon Inc. Okay, they probably get interview requests often if if they're CEO for a company. Um, so let's see what we get. My name is blank, and I am both a fan and a follower of the work you are doing with Pigeon Ink. That's good. It starts off with flattery. I mean, who doesn't like to be flattered? I'm writing to you to kindly request a 30-minute video interview so I can learn more about your experiences as founder. I'm genuinely interested in learning more about the vision and mission. Um, this is good. This is really, really solid. One thing I'd recommend is change maybe the format, right? If you're doing a podcast, you can just throw that in there. Um, you can add more context about the founder if the founder is old, or maybe if the company is a tech company or a food company. You throw in little bits of context in there to help ChatGPT give you just a better result. Now, let's say you had a job interview, right? We'll ask ChatGPT to write an email thanking the communications director for the job interview. Request a follow-up call. Recommend Monday or Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Let's see what ChatGPT can do. Subject line, Dear Communications Director, I wanted to thank you for taking the time to interview me yesterday for the blank position. It was a pleasure to meet you and learn more about the role and the company. To talk further and move the hiring process along, would it be possible for us to schedule a follow-up? That's pretty good. It's a solid template. It just gets something going, right? Copy this, change some information, paste it in your email, and send it, right? Send it and forget it.